welcome to my channel. I'm Charlotte. Thank you so much for watching. Today I just wanted to update you on where I was at with my reading goals in 2019. So far I have read 11 books, and I think last time I updated you I was like I had read 4, so I'm well on my way of reaching my goal. I think that at this pace, if I continue it, I will read many more than 50 books. We will see. We shall see. So I wanted to just go over the last few books that I have read. Oh, and by the way, if you want to know how I got this bronzy look here, I used all the items in this month's BoxyCharm, and so I'll link my BoxyCharm unboxing and try on video down below. It was a very bronzy box this month. So far I have read 11 books, and those books are The Only Girl in the World, which is a memoir, Big Potential: How Transforming the Pursuit of Success Raises Our Achievement, Happiness, and Well-Being by Sean Aker. You Play the Girl: On Playboy Bunnies, Stepford Wives, Trainwrecks, and Other Mixed Messages, which are essays by Karina Chicano. How to Murder Your Life by Kat Marnell, another memoir. Dope Sick Dealers, Doctors, and the Drug Company That Addicted America by Beth Macy. Between the World and Me by Ta-Nehisi Coates. The Year of Less: How I Stopped Shopping, Gave Away My Belongings, and Discovered Life is Worth More Than Anything You Can Buy in a Store by Kate Flanders. Jab, 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 Right Hook: How to Tell Your Story in a Noisy Social World by Gary Vaynerchuk. Drinking: A Love Story by Carolyn Knapp. How to Be an Overnight Success by Maria Hatzistefanis, I think. And The Human Predicament. Oh god. And The Human Predicament by David Benatar. So I already talked about some of those other books, but I just wanted to update you on the books that I haven't mentioned. So I finished, finally, The Human Predicament, A Candid Guide to Life's Biggest Questions by David Benatar, and it's just okay. I was definitely expecting more out of it. There was nothing groundbreaking or revolutionary about it. My favorite parts, I think, were when he cited other philosophers like Schopenhauer. So I liked that. I think my favorite part was actually at the beginning when he went into depth into sort of explaining and portraying life for all beings on the planet as life as being really harsh for all beings on the planet. He made some really compelling arguments to demonstrate how cruel other animals are to other animals, and how that is also a natural part of life, that excruciating suffering and justice is not really a thing in the natural world. So I really liked that part of the book, which was towards the beginning. He describes a couple scenarios where, for example, a whale is being hunted and stalked and literally ripped alive and eaten alive for many, many hours on end, and that is a normal process. Or the fact that sea planktons and small fish are eaten by the tons all the time by whales. And also the way that lioness will go and hunt a zebra, for example, and that she can't actually kill the zebra just with her teeth. It actually won't pierce the arteries in her neck, and so actually she ends up having to asphyxiate the zebra, and it's a slow, painful death. So he just did a good job of illustrating that our need, or our desire to paint the world as needing to be just or noble or good or happy is just kind of fabricated, and that the reality of our world is that it is a harsh and brutal world for everyone involved, which I thought was really compelling, and that was the highlight of the book for me. So other than that though, the rest of his book was tedious, boring, long, uninspiring, and kind of a drag, and like I said, there was nothing revealing. The rest of the book, my favorite parts were usually citations by other philosophers. But I'm glad I finished it. I'm glad I read it. I would have been wondering about it continuously had I not picked it up from the library. So I'm really glad I read it. I also just recently read How to Be an Overnight Success by Maria Hatzistefanis. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. I'm just gonna write down her name. But this was a terrible book. It was like a part memoir, part how-to entrepreneurial handbook. And I wasn't expecting that much out of it, to be honest. I was hoping to maybe get few motivating points and maybe entertainment from the memoir part. But it was badly written. It was kind of useless. It was geared towards a very specific demographic that most of us aren't part of. I found some of her advice questionable, and I just generally don't recommend it. I gave it 2 stars, which for me up until now is the lowest I've ever given to a book. I'm quite generous with my stars on Goodreads, just so you know. And let's see. The Year of Less, How I Stopped Shopping, Gave Away My Belongings, and Discovered Life is Worth More Than Anything You Can Buy in a Store by Kate Flanders was definitely more of like a memoir than a how-to book. And I found it semi-enjoyable. It was readable. It was definitely readable. Before starting to read it, but after I took it out of the library, I looked up reviews, and there were a few people that said it was like a boo-hoo millennial story of a privileged little girl. And at first I was like, oh, that's not fair, you know. I kind of felt, well, I guess I always feel like I have to defend millennials or like the millennial generation. But I have to admit, after reading it, it was a little bit of that. And she's actually a little bit older than me. So I'm 31. She's in her mid-30s, but she is still a millennial, I guess. So I don't know if I recommend it. I'm sure it's probably not the best book on the subject. It was readable. It was okay. I gave it 3 stars. I also just recently finished Drinking, a Love Story by Carolyn Knapp, and I really loved this memoir. It was definitely on par with her other memoir called Appetites. I would say this was probably, the other one was my first love and was more relevant to me in my life. Beautifully written, very interesting, very moving, very readable. So I gave it, I think I gave it 5 stars because it's a 5-star memoir for sure. I think that's it. Oh, I don't think I mentioned, I finished Jab, 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 Right Hook, How to Tell Your Story in a Noisy Social World by Gary Vee. And I was slightly disappointed by this. He's not that much of a writer, and I found his information, while it was sort of useful in how he went through different social media platforms and how you should utilize them to tell your story, I found it slightly outdated. It was written a few years ago, so it's hard not to be outdated. Things move so fast in social media. I still got something out of it, but it wasn't exactly what I thought it was going to be, and I feel like he is better at expressing himself not through writing, but perhaps on stage, through podcasts, through speaking events. That's how I prefer to get his message, receive his message, I suppose. So I recommend it if you know nothing about. So the ways that it's kind of outdated is that he talks about, he talks about like Vine, which I don't think even exists anymore. He mentions, he doesn't mention YouTube, which, he does, but he doesn't go into YouTube, and I would have liked to have heard what he had to say about YouTube as well. But I did find it interesting. He kind of case studies different different companies' use of social media on different platforms, and I did find that valuable, and I did learn some things through it. So that was cool, especially with Twitter, which I just got on it finally because I've never been into Twitter. That's his favorite social media platform, and it kind of gave me an idea as to what's so great about Twitter. So now I'm kind of intrigued, and I'm on there now. You can follow me there too. You can be my first follower. I have no followers, but I just got on there, you know, so I'm super late to the game. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like the video. Please subscribe to my channel. That helps me so much. It really means a lot to me, and it really helps encourage me to continue making these videos. Please let me know what you're reading currently, what you just recently finished reading, if you have any recommendations. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye.